Good morning, Philippines. So here at the Cartmel Experience, the Philip Cartmel Experience, my new title, if you haven't noticed, I've changed it. We try to provide you with the unusual, the interesting about Asia and the Philippines. Something a little bit different than what you get on other channels. And if you find you enjoy that, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Just a little bit of business before we get into today's topic, which is the martial art Arnis of the Philippines and the Philippine combative spirit. Um, yeah, I just did a video and there was 99% favor, huge volume, and we're now at 450 subscribers, which is like 100 more than I had from yesterday. So that was quite a surprise. But just to clarify a few points, some people asked to see the video of Mark's assault on Dexter. No, that's being held for the courts as evidence. And do I care really what people think? Not really. I've tried to provide something new and refreshing here as opposed to the day-to-day stuff you get from other bloggers, and I don't try to baffle you with bullshit. I try to dazzle you with my brains, and if that doesn't work, well, then we're in poor shape. So I try to get the facts and lay them out for you to look at on all my topics. And occasionally I bring notes along with me so that I'm not just spewing off the top of my head. Now, another blogger made a comment. Actually, a couple of them now have said, Phil, find a niche. You've got to find a niche so people can find you on the internet. So focus on one thing. What do you love to do? Well, let me just tell you about me. When I was in high school, like a lot of people, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do when I grew up. Still wondering what I'll do when that day ever happens. But so they suggest I take what they call the Kruger preference test, and figured that it would narrow down my areas of interest. Specifically, they ask you 4 questions or alternate questions. Would you rather do this or rather do that? Would you rather build a bridge or go and enter into a debate or this type of thing? And what only thing I found was that I'm interested in everything about this planet. And that's probably part of the reason why I could never become a specialist, a doctor, a lawyer, any of these things, because they're all too confining. I don't want to tie myself up for 7 years of medical school and tie myself up in residence. So that's who I am. I'm a generalist by nature, and I'm all over the map. So there's over 450 videos now that you can go through at your leisure, or not. That's up to you. But I try to provide something new and interesting every day. So the thing about the Mark Thornton video is that I did it with some regret, because, like I said in the video, I don't like to see anybody suffer except the bully, and I haven't seen anywhere since the videos come out that Mark has come forward and said, no, I'm not a bully, and tried to offer any defense now that he knows that he's been caught red-handed on tape. So yeah, don't forget, Mark has what, I don't know, 40, 50,000 subscribers. I've got 450. So all his OnlyFans are going to come charging after me and everyone else who's mentioned on that tape. And that's why I took an effort to protect some of them. Okay, so that's the business of Mark. Let's move on. And you can make references to questions down below, but not everybody's interested in what Mark Thornton does nearly as much as Mark Thornton is. So let's just move on. And oh, by the way, my apologies to Steve for zeroing in on him. But when you align yourself with fools, you end up being ridiculed, and that's just part of this blogging game. So you're probably wise in your first decision to stay out of the video. So today's topic is about competition in the Philippines. And I guess what a lot of people don't realize is when they say it's more fun in the Philippines, it's because the Filipinos are a playful people. They love their sports, and their sports are quite different in order of preference for the relative to the American field of influence. However, basketball is their number one interest. They are the basketball leaders in Asia. They're the first ones to bring it in. That followed by, we've all heard of Manny Pacquiao, boxing, volleyball, tennis, then football, and finally billiards. You'll find billiard halls all over the Philippines, laid out there under a cover in the sun. It's a great way to spend a day down by the beach, playing volleyball and then doing a round of billiards. And tennis, yeah, we've got a tennis course up the end of the complex here, but I've got a racket, but I've yet to raise it, other than the ones I raise here on the internet occasionally. So, Philippines is known for beauty contests. They love their beauty contests. The girls are competitive too. Man, they're competitive. That's why when you come here, you'll find pretty young girls chomping at the bit, trying to push their girlfriends aside. I recently was surprised, actually, at the revelation by my wife that a woman that I talked to some 10 years earlier, at the same time that I met my wife, had contacted my wife and had made comments to her that, if things didn't work out with Philip, could you please send them my way? Which was a great compliment. But apparently this went on for years after we'd actually tied the knot. So she's still making inquiries. So they're very competitive, the ladies as well. And they're tough. There's a province around Manila where they actually do live crucifixions every Good Friday. Volunteers come forward and they stick in 4-inch stainless steel nails through their hands, drive them up, put a crown of thorns on them, and prop them up for a few hours in the sun as their penance to Lord Jesus Christ and trying to get in the good books with the good Lord. So, I don't know how many of you would like to just on a casual Good Friday have 4-inch nails driven through your nails and possibly your feet. So, and then some of the foods like balut, which is a duck embryo, or dry fish. Some of the stuff's pretty hardcore. They used to eat dog years ago, but that's been phased out. And I guess they're not eating enough snake in Cebu because they're finding more cobras in around. They just found some in Naga yesterday in Cebu. So, yeah, they're tough. And you can call them Roman Catholic, which they largely are, and they're aggressively so. They're the largest Roman Catholic population with the richest diocese in Manila of any country in the world. And it's the last remaining country in the world where divorce is illegal and abortion is a criminal event. So, but the interesting thing about the Philippines is they combine it with voodoo, or a form of voodoo, a form of spiritualism. So all their mythical beasts and stuff are kind of incorporated, and you got to listen to both the voodoo doctor, or the witch doctor down in Siquijor, that's the hot spot, and a lot of Canadians and Americans are going down to Siquijor now to seek that out as a tourist destination. So, being that they are competitive and they're aggressive too, but you just don't see it with the passive, quiet, non-confrontational view they have of the world. But don't be surprised at 2 a.m. in the morning if the karaoke machine isn't blowing full blast. And in terms of beauty, yeah, they want to be white. Their beautiful merino skin is being corrupted by this desire to be white. They admire the Koreans who are very pale, and they have a native group called the Igorots, which are basically darker skinned people in Luzon, which, if this was a caste system in India, they would probably be looked down upon. So, yeah, very competitive. And they compete with animals too. They have everything from cockfighting to horse fighting to they love to pair off things together and just see what's going to happen to it. So, yeah, they're very competitive. And the result is that the average Filipino now is living 71.66 years. So that's more than 10 years more than the average, or less than the average American. So it has its wear and tear in this country as it develops. So now I wanted to tell you about this national sport called Arnis. In 2009, it was recognized as the national sport, but this is a form of martial arts that has been incorporated long ago before the Spanish came. And it's a piece of cane about 4 feet long that they grab about one fist length from the end. And they fight with it in what they call the zaki is one of the strokes that they got, and they use gravity for it. And they square off in 1 minute matches up to 3 minutes. And there's a bunch of judges that score them. They're supposed to limit themselves to not doing any facial cuts or hits, but you can kill with these sticks. And I liken it a bit to lacrosse in my own country in Canada. I mean, it's as hard as a lacrosse stick. And if you get that over your head, we had to shut down the lacrosse league in high school because of all the concussions that were showing up. So I don't know. I mean, it was in 2009. It was officially recognized as a Philippine national sport, Arnis. It has other names as well, and no, it's not any. It's its own unique form of martial arts, unique to the Philippines. So the world, are you ready for the Philippines and the competition that's going to come your way? This friendly competition that's going to come their way. You know, I watched these squarings off in the South China Sea between the bully Chinese Coast Guard and their hundreds of ships. And there's one little Filipino in his little bunker boat saying, "It's my land," and he's standing up to them. And I salute the Philippine people. They are tough as nails. You don't want to mess with them. And yeah, there's over 170 different dialects here and cultures and customs. These islands have their own unique characters, but as a nation, they're rising up. And the competition, from beauty contests to cockfighting to you name it, any sport, Les mentioned about basketball, they love. So yeah, when you're in the Philippines, be prepared for some friendly competition. Maybe a little one-on-one around a net would be a bit fun if you're a younger fella. Even if you're an older fella, I should get out there myself. So if you enjoyed this and would like to see more, please feel free to look at the 450 and make some comments. That would help me find my niche, as people say. What am I supposed to specialize in? Do you want me to talk about the Philippines, unique things the Philippines? You want me to talk about bloggers gone wrong? I'll always stand for the truth. That's one thing I am. I am a prisoner to the truth. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit I'm wrong. Please prove me wrong, and I'll be eager to hear because I'm always curious, always wanting to learn, and that's why I have an interest in everything and can never seem to focus on one specific field. Thanks for dropping by, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.